Hey everybody, welcome to the second drive-through digital review. Today I'm going to talk about Zulus on the Ramparts. This is a digital release by Victory Point Games. They've released now 2 editions of the physical copy. I've actually done a review of the physical copy already, and Marco Arnaudo has also done a nice review. I am going to talk to you a little bit about how to play the game for those not familiar with it. I'm not going to get into too much detail, and then I'll kind of talk a little bit about the interface and how this game works. Now, the gist of the game is it's the battle at Rorke's Drift, and basically you are taking the place of the British soldiers trying to defend off the incoming Zulus. So let's go ahead and start a new game. We'll click this. Now there's 3 difficulty levels here, and I would highly recommend most folks start with the easy difficulty until you get the hang of the game. The game is a little bit complex. Not really. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy, but there's a lot of sort of special abilities and powers that you can get through a lot of your leaders and different sergeants and lieutenants and things like that. The game is difficult to win anyway, so I think that'll ease the frustration if you choose easy. Now, I've played the physical copy several times and beat it, and so I'm just going to choose normal here for now. And then you just enter your player name and hit go. Now the initial loading of the game here does take about a minute or so. Probably not quite a minute, but it feels long. And then the game's going to have us a nice little message for us just as we're about to start the game.
You're all going to die! Die!
Okay, so the first thing you're going to do every round is it's going to mix up these little chits for you, and you're going to select one. This is usually going to advance one of the 4 flanks of Zulus into your little fortress there. So you see you've got the 4 symbols there in the corners. So let's just pick one of these. Alright, so that's going to pick a flank. You can see there that that is going to match. You may not be able to see that. There's these little symbols there in the corners here, and that's going to tell you which flank is going to move up. You can see these little circles here. Basically, each of these little units or groups is going to try to move in and then try to get inside of your little barricaded defenses there. So let's go ahead and hit the next phase. So that they've moved, that's a phase there. We're going to hit next phase again, and then you can see we've got 1 action available to us. Now down here at the barracks is we got a list of cards here. So we're going to start here in this case with 2 heroes, and then we've got an order card here. So let's take a look at the order card. So if we click that, we can see it's got some statistics here and a little special ability. Now, most of these are going to allow you to fire a volley, and you're going to fire it at short, medium, or long range. And what that means is, let's go ahead and close this. And so short range is basically any of these little circles here that are immediately adjacent to our fortress. Medium range is anything that's 2 circles away, and then long range will be 3 circles away. So you can see this guy moved in, he's now within long range. So we'll go back to our barracks here. So if we wanted to, we could fire this here, and this is going to show you the amount of dice basically that you're going to roll. In this case it uses a spinner, so let's just go ahead and take a look at that. So we're going to fire a volley for our action. And you can see it's lit up this flank here because it's within range. So any flanks that are within range, it's going to light up. So we're going to tap that. And here we've got our spinners. So remember, at a long range, we basically had 3 dice or 3 spinners. So you can spin them individually, or you can just hit spin all. I'll do that. It's going to spin that. And then you're going to have a variety of outcomes here. And it gives you the possible outcomes there. And so we got some hits there. You didn't quite see all those. Sometimes it'll make him retreat like that, or it'll actually inflict a hit, and that will actually reduce the size of the units. Now you heard that sort of little like 1980s video game sound when it went pew like that. That's because we haven't supplied food and water yet. You start the game off with your ammunition and water supply low, which basically reduces your die roll modifier by 1, so you're going to reduce a hit that way. So something that you're going to want to do early in the game, and that's something I usually do on the first turn, is deploy a hero like that. Now the special ability of that card is actually allowing me to do 1 non-volley action. So I did it for a volley, but that had a special ability to do another volley. So usually on this turn you're going to take an action to do a volley, or you could do something to do with one of your heroes. So let's take a look at one of the heroes here. So here you've got a hero, and what you're going to do with these mostly is you're going to make them available and deploy them out sort of in the battlefield. Now some of the heroes you can use for volleys themselves, so you can use them to do, an attack on the encroaching Zulu warriors. Or they've got different special abilities here, and you can see by the icon what phase that the ability is available in. So this is the little targeting icon. So if we go back here, we can see that we're in the action phase of the targeting phase. So you can see, okay, I'm in this phase, what could I use this hero's ability for? But to be able to do that, you need to have it available. So now that we have our bonus action for a non-valley, I'm going to make them available. So there, now we've got a little available set of different heroes, and there's different types of heroes here. So if we go in here, you can see we're still in this phase, so this is lit up. So now I could use this ability. So this says you may return this hero to the barracks, which is your hand, to conduct up to one additional action during this phase. So if I had some more volley cards in my hand, I could maybe return him and then get another fire in. So these aren't going to cost you an action. It costs you an action to deploy a hero, but these abilities here are going to come into effect for free usually. So now we've used up our actions. We've got 0 actions. I'm going to go to the next phase. This is the card draw phase. You're always going to draw cards. So when you hit this phase, you can take a look here and say, in this case, we've drawn another hero. And if we go back here, we can look at the available guys here, like so. And now we're in the card draw phase, so this ability is now available. And there's a whole ton of abilities. I'm not going to go over too many of these. We're going to go back. We're just going to go to the next phase. And then now we're in sort of the hero phase. Now you can always, in this phase, make one hero available for free. So effectively you can make 2 heroes available per turn. So we made 1 hero available with our extra action. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at one of these guys and make him available. Why not? Then we'll go to the next phase. And then now we've got a phase here where we're going to check our hand size. You can see there's basically 5 cards there. So you have a 5 card limit. We're in good shape here. We've only got 1 card. But at this point you may have to discard some cards out of your hand. You're going to hit the next phase, and it's going to shuffle up these impy markers, it's called. Most of them are going to have to do with movement, again, of the 4 different flanks. There's some special abilities there. Let me just pick one. Okay, so that one's not going to cause anything, so we're going to do that. So that's going to give us 1. So speaking of those different special abilities, the game does come with the rules here, so you can go to rules. This is going to load up, and then you can sort of go left and right just by tapping the left and right side of the screen. So if you're not too sure, you know, some of the different abilities, there's some night fighting, you know, some of the different icons you may not, you know, really be clear on what it is. You can go take a look at it there. Now I've disabled the tutorial here, but normally once you start the game, it's a pretty good job of, at least I think it's a good job of explaining, you know, all the different things for you. But again, I play the game regularly, so. So what is the objective of the game here? So if we zoom in here, you can zoom in. You can see we've got our soldiers here in the fortress. Now, if any of these units from any of these flanks get in here, we're going to immediately lose the game. We're going to win the game if we ever wipe them out completely and just, you know, destroy them by rolling, you know, the destruction dice. Retreating them is good. It keeps them away from you, but you really want to try to hit them and reduce their numbers. If you ever wipe out all of them, then you're going to win the game. The other way to wipe them out is basically by drawing through the deck. So there's no deck you can see here, but basically as you draw cards, you're going to get to a bottom of this virtual deck, and you're going to get this relief column card. That's going to end the game immediately in a victory for you. It's going to total up a whole bunch of different things. I'm not going to go into that now, and you're going to get a certain level or degree of victory. So I'm just going to go through one more turn, just kind of show you some of the options that are available to you, and then wrap up. So now we've drawn this marker here, so we're going to get that. So this guy's going to move up a little bit. Go to the next phase. We're going to get our action. So let's take a look at what we got. We don't have any volley cards here. Let's take a look at what this guy can do. So we can make him available, get him out there. He's got some different abilities. There's nothing else we can really do. Let's take a look at these guys out here. So this is showing some available things here. So now you can see the little target icon, so he's got a little bit of an action there. So he could fire a volley, which is going to discard him. You're going to get rid of that when you discard him. Or you can return this hero card to the barracks to conduct up to one other action. That's really not going to do us any good. Now this is good because it shows me an opportunity to tell you about some of the sort of actions that different types of these heroes can do, and usually it's lieutenants and sergeants, and it's in more detail in the rules. One thing you're going to want to do early is build the barricades. So to do that, this is interesting. So when you build the barricades, what's going to happen is you're going to build a little barricade here. So let me just show you that. So this is going to be very important. So he's going to start the barricade like that. So you can see there, maybe you can kind of say they're starting to dig a line. So you're going to basically have to commit this guy every turn And then as they draw a line down here, all of the soldiers, you're going to see them move from here over into here. So now, when one of these Zulu warriors comes up this flank, if they get into here, you're still going to be okay because all your guys are going to be barricaded on this side. And then you can build the barricades again. Now it's going to eat up actions on your turn, so you're going to want to be able to kind of play and get some of those cards in your hand that let you do kind of double actions on your turn. So you can fire at them and knock them back the little flanks there, and also do some activities here to build the barricades. Now there's other things you can do here. So I can abandon the barricade like that, and he's going to go back into my hand. And then there's another couple activities you can do. Like I saw, you have the ability to commit 2 guys to a reserve platoon, and there's some special volley cards that will let you do immense firepower and things like that. And so there's just a couple of different standard activities you can do. Sometimes these buildings will catch on fire based on the different chits that you drew, and you have to put the fires out and things like that. So it's a lot of card management, hand management, and fighting back these guys and trying to sort of maintain sanity inside your little fortress here as you're battling back these different units coming up at you. So that's Zulus on the Ramparts. That's pretty much the game. I think it's about $7 on the App Store currently. The load times, sometimes they can be a little bit long, but it's not too bad once you get in the game, and I think once it loads it into memory, it doesn't seem to have too much trouble. Some of the icons might be a little bit confusing at the start of the game, but again, you can just go in here, pull up the rules, and then kind of read through and see what the different different things are and what they do. Okay, thank you.